showing a lot of interest in the this technological innovations. And I also extend my welcome to our today's speaker, Mr. Basara Jodi and Mr. Arun Kumar KS. Arun Kumar KS is Assistant Vice President in the ACAS Squad Force Belagavi, and he is a different kind of the person. He is always helping the organizations by sharing his thoughts, and he is our guest faculty in our organization who always comes to our college and he shares his views with our students. And one more third resource person with today is the Mr. Lal Saheb Bote. He is a CNC trainer and he is a freelancer. He is giving a lot of trainings and he worked in the multinational companies about 25 years, starting from the Cummins India Limited, and now he is also started with the SD Tech Training Center. He wrote a lot of articles about the CNC training, and he will focus mainly on the training and online aspects of this training. And let us start with the session. Before that, I welcome all the participants who are my students of this department as well as the alumni. There are many alumni are joined, and at the same time, the fraternity of the mechanical engineering who are staying in the different parts of the Karnataka, especially Belgaum, Mangalore. They are even Belgaum. They are requested to send the link of this program, and I shared, and they are joining. And one more thing is this live is streaming on the YouTube channel, and anybody can watch that on the YouTube channel also. And I welcome all the people who are directly and indirectly watching this and directly are involved in this program. Let us start with this program, and the agenda will be like this. There will be five set of the questions, and each will be requested to comment on that. At the end, the principal sir remarks will be there, and before that, I request all the participants to mute their audio, and whatever the questions they have, they can put it in the chat box, and they can ask, they can shoot the question directly to the individuals. They can name to whom they are interested to ask that question. In that way, the question answer session will be taken at the end. This is how we have to organize this program. Now I request our principal sir to welcome the gathering. Sorry, yeah, I welcome the principal sir, and now I request one by one to start with the session. Now I will talk about what is the post effect of this COVID-19, especially the COVID-19 when it started in the month of the March or April, and many people we don't know how exactly this COVID is happening, and there are so many challenges it has posed, not only in the industry, not only in the general life, even in the academics, every part of the life it has touched. Okay, to come out of this, what is how to go ahead and how to solve the problems and how to come out of this particular pandemic situations. I request the people to comment on these. Let us start with the questionnaires, and I request one by one to the speakers to comment on this. Now we have seen how the things are changing. Earlier, we used to work in a group and we used to touch the people, touch the materials. Now, the things are don't touch, don't mingle, don't maintain the social distance. These kind of the things are happening. But how to go ahead with this mechanical industry, especially in the mechanical industries, there is a input, process, and output. Lot of input materials comes and lot of processing happens, and it is shifted to the or transport to the next level of the manufacturing. Let us come back to the questionnaire set. Sir, now I request one by one. Now I request Mr. Jodi sir to comment on the skill set requirements and the innovations required in this situation after the COVID, especially for the mechanical engineering industries.
Yes, sir. It's very nice to be with your team. And Mr. Arun Kumar is a well-known personality. And the thing now, what you are asking about is very, very important. If you look last 25 years, the mechanical industry was having a lot of manual involvement. And now, in this modernization and automation, almost we have reached now 50% manpower has been reduced and physical contact has been reduced. And
Yes,
now, because of this COVID, the things is
yes, sir.
hello.
Yes, sir.
Now the
Audible.
things have been, yeah. Now, something is interrupting.
Sir, I
Just
request.
you put
I,
all others on mute.
yes, sir. I request here everybody to mute their.
Sir, you can mute, I think, all others.
Yes, sir. Here I request everybody to mute their audio system.
Yes, sir. Now, due to
Professor Virana, you may be having that this one, no?
option
Control.
Mute.
of muting you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can mute
You
everyone.
can mute all the other people except the speakers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
sir.
that will be good.
Yes.
You can just manage that one.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right, sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you. And now, see, in the last 10-15 years, almost the automation has come on to the our mechanical industry. That is basically, we used to use the lathe and the milling machines. Now those all have been converted into CNC as well as the VMC and HMCs. And even last 10-15 years before, when we converted into that, there are a lot many things what is happening. Particularly people are unable to, there are a lot of manpower is available, as well as we used to skill them. We used to take them whether they are practically trained or not, but we used to take them on the line and we give them the training of 2 to 6 months, even up to 1 year. And then after, they used to get practiced and work. And in last 10-15 years, when the CNC and other machines have come, and particularly the education is also increased. The education has increased from, you can say that earlier our educated people were about 60%. Now it has been increased to 80, 85, up to 90% also. And most of the people have become the engineers. And physical working for engineers is a quite difficult thing. So the CNC and VMC has become a quite compatible. But even now, in the education system, the practical training of this CNC as well as VMC and this automation machine is still not coming into the practice. And that's why actually to our VTO also, I'm on the board, and I requested them to make a compulsion of minimum 1 semester. They should go to the factories and work and get a certificate from those factories. They got trained. That would have been helped a lot for getting the skill. And now, because of this COVID, now this is we are going to next level. That is of totally becoming an automated industry. That is now robotics are getting more importance. And I feel unless we get some vaccine, the physical working industries will not perform more than 50%. Because the involvement of the manpower itself is very high, and there will be a lot of hesitation of the people to come to the work also. So now people are now concentrating on the wherever the robotics and automation is there, and next level people will be targeting in that manner only, because of there are so other parts also impacting it. As the government is putting a lot of conditions, that is the minimum wage act they have bought, and the minimum wage act is indirectly doubling like that. So we can say the next level can be the totally automation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Exactly what you told. Sir, now I request Arun Kumar sir to comment on this, sir. Sir, please comment from your perspective. The skill set requirement and the innovations with respect to your organizations, you please speak, sir. Arun Kumar,
Thanks. Sure. Thanks, Mr. Jowli, for your views. And I think Professor Virana has put a very relevant and timely subject matter for discussion. A few days back, when he called me to say that this is going to be a topic, for a moment I felt it's too early, right? Just COVID was there and we were all worried about that. But later I'm convinced that this is the time we have to start thinking in this direction to be ready for it. So, as you said, skill set and innovation, and probably it is combined with automation and technology. That's your next line, right? I probably try to club in between so that it get related to the subject to the execution. So, coming to the professional views, like past 30 years, I have been seeing different crises in the industry, be it a recession, that's a global recession or regional recession, then economic problems, you can say to the extent of economic meltdown, then some geographical instabilities. There were different type of crises seen in these industries over the period, and industries have definitely come out of this kind of crisis in their own way. And definitely, I'm sure this COVID-19 crisis also will be faced in a right direction in industries, and of course, the whole human beings will come out of this crisis. But let me try to tell you what is the difference between the previous crisis and this crisis. You know, like the previous crisis, as I mentioned, probably the recession or economic meltdown. Post this, there was a possibility to think and implement and get into the action. For example, recession or the economic meltdown. There were the old methodology as well as new methodology. When technology got changed or technology to be adopted, as Mr. Javli was mentioning, the switching over from conventional machining to CNC, there was a time available for a smooth transition. People were slowly getting transited to the next technology because the previous technology was not an obsolete or it was not in danger. But present COVID-19 scenario is different. You know, it's a question of health and life and safety. So here, I'm feeling that transition will not be over a period. It will be immediate. It should be very quick. So to have this, we definitely need a good amount of skill set and innovation. And the innovation in the area of automation and technology. So I think this is a combination we had to work out. And the third world country like India or developing countries had a little apprehension towards automation for a semi-skilled and unskilled activities, including my own industry, because of the economy. Definitely, when there is a skill or high risk or safety-related things are there, today the industries are already automated. Be it, as you said, the CNC technology or safety requirements in every equipment or machinery in the working area. But when it comes to a semi-skilled or a less skilled, still we are with a less automated, more human intervention activities. And there definitely is going to be a challenge because now the question is health and life. So this cannot be compromised for the sake of economic way of working, and probably that's not the way also. So there will be a phenomenal change required in the skills of the people as well as the innovations are required now. And just to give small examples, like when we were fortunate to start this operations 3 weeks back because of being in aerospace and defense sector. When we started the operations, the restriction was 1/3 of the manpower to be available. 2/3 have to be away. Definitely, we never had a 2/3 of excess manpower. So what do we do? There were definitely some concepts saying that the manufacturing engineering guy, procurement persons had to be in the plant to be associated and they had to run the show. But when this inevitability came, definitely we tried to push them to work from home. So it's not a smooth thing, even though they are with a lot of hiccups, they are able to manage the activities of theirs working from home with available tools like, you know, Skype and MS Teams, which are not designed for this kind of activities. They are basically, even this WebEx system, what we are talking now, they are all designed for some particular purpose of that time. Now we are trying to utilize this to the best possible extent to adopt to our requirement. So there is a good amount of opening required in this kind of audio visual technologies to make virtual factories. So we are all thinking in that direction now. The people who are required to be associated with the plant now and then, not all the time, can work in the virtual factories. Probably, let's say an example like an operation guy faces a problem in the operation. Maybe the problem is related to a quality or a engineering part of it. He can go to the work, the operation guy, with the help of this audio visual aids. A raw guess is probably he'll have a safety helmet with a camera and a mic in this, and he'll explain to these guys who are supposed to solve his problem at the place. And the people sitting in the virtual factory definitely will feel that they are the part of the activities and they can give a good suggestion. So there is a lot of scope available in these kind of areas to be thought of, and innovation is going to be the key. And I'll emphasize again, innovation at very speed. Speed is going to be the key word in this post-COVID scenario.
Yeah.
And, okay, I think this is what my feeling is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly what you told. The automation and technology is the next day it will the rule, because all the mechanical industries, they work with the people, especially the human resources. Lot of skilled, unskilled, and the semi-skilled people are working in the organization. But when we go for the think of the automation, then there are a lot of other parameters we'll discuss in the next coming points. But prior to that, I request Mr. Engineer C.N. Bothe. He is basically a production engineer and a CNC trainer. Sir, please give light on this topic. C.N. Bothe, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Bothe. Are you listening now? Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
please
hello.
go ahead, sir. Yeah, please,
Oh.
sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Good morning to everybody. Most of the people have expressed his opinion. I am talking about the advanced technology. Today's engineering college has to find out. Engineering college customers are the industry. What industry needs today? Industry needs a skilled manpower, and in India there is right now the skilled manpower is not available. Sufficient skilled manpower is not available. Engineering colleges they should provide the specific courses, just like a CNC. See, I have visited in Germany. There were the special courses in particular areas. So the engineering college has to provide this type of the syllabus. Has to design the syllabus and provide the particular specific information to the student. Right now, in the basically CNC is the latest technology, and all industry has adopted the CNC machines to power manufacturing in mechanical industry. So the industry needs the skilled manpower. They don't have a time to train them and something to provide the technical data. They want the skilled manpower. Lot of industries, lot of businessmen are saying that in India there is a manpower is sufficient, but the skilled manpower is not available. Mr. Kalyani also commented on that. So engineering college today, the main role is the engineering college. The most of the engineering college has to go to industry and study what they want, and such a type of training has to be provided. Basically, I have wrote a book on the this CNC programming and tooling, and all technical things, as per my knowledge, I have put in that book. So a lot of I am taking training from last 1988, and so many students are trained. So that is the requirement, today's requirement. And engineering syllabus, there is added some topics, but such a type of books are not as per my knowledge, such a type of books are not available in market. So the engineering college teachers, I don't feel that, but they have also good knowledge. But that is the students needs the knowledge that should be provided by the colleges. That is my opinion. Okay.
Yes, sir. Exactly what you told is correct, sir. Now you have to prepare the skill set and the innovation. So then it has to start from the college. That is a right perspective.
Yeah.
The right point you have
That is
pointed out. You have pointed out, sir. Sir, with this, now we have seen a different kind of the scenario in the industry as well as in the society. Now the
Yeah.
challenges are posed in a different direction. Earlier, we used to think about the medical equipments, only a limited segment is working on that. But now the medical equipments and the medical facilities comes forefront, and now we are saying the whatever the mask or whatever the face shields or the
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the PPP kits, all those things, even the preparation of that, even I will share those some pictures here, sir. That slide share is not
Okay.
happening. I will just show that even our college has took the initiation with the 3D printers. We developed the face shields and a ventilator channel that is also developed. I will share that shortly. And one more thing is about the materials, whatever the PPP kit we are talking about, even the research has told revealed there is a chance of 4 to 8 hours the virus will live on the papers, on the plastics, on this that. Okay, but now it is our duty to develop or research or innovate something material which is a disinfectant or which is a bioresistant also. In that kind of the challenge we are facing now, I request Javli sir to comment on this. Now, what are the challenges the industry in this situation, especially the particular situation, what kind of the products we want to produce and how to develop those medical equipments? Earlier, it is not like that. Only limited segments used to do that, but it is everybody's job to do some of the products which are helping. Even yesterday, Arun Kumar sir has shared some pictures wherein in the just instead of touching the water this one the sanitizer, there is a put operated like that. The so many innovations are taking place. That kind of the innovations are also required nowadays. You please, Javli sir, please comment on this, sir.
Yeah. Sir, practically speaking, now, if you look to last 15, 20, last 30 years, I am looking, the only targeted area was some minimum mechanical parts as well as automobile. Now there is a lot of opportunities has been created into the defense, one part, and second part is coming to the medical. See, now when this lockdown has come, you may be aware this Vega helmet, they were making the helmet and they thought got a good idea. The whatever the shield they are using for the helmet, that can be made as a face shield. And they made about 5,000 numbers immediately, got the permission from the government also, and started distributing, and even direct marketing also they have started. The capacity, instead of making helmet, they have diverted it to the making a medical equipment. Like that, there are so many innovators in Belgaum. You can take the one Sentry is made here for the startup. Those guys has talked to me and asked about what the best we can do. They have started developing a ventilator through some specific machineries they had there, as well as there are people who have got 2, 3 innovators are there who are already started a 3D machine printing. 3D printing machine they are manufacturing, and they were in line of getting about 10, 15 machines were already ready, which have not has been dispatched. So they got an opportunity to use those machines for PPE kit manufacturing. Okay, and now upcoming days there are a lot many opportunities are coming in a different area. And my vision is that or thinking is that all the engineering colleges teachers has to be get specific training in modern machining as well as the modern technology, and all the colleges has to adopt, as Mr. Boite was telling, the specific course syllabus has to be taken into that, and as well as there is a good opportunity in see, our overall our India's export is hardly 3% of our manufacturing, and our imports are about 15%. And this 15 out of 15%, there is an opportunity of indigenous of 12% material, what we are taking from the other countries. And we are able to do those things if there is some reverse engineering and research is done on that. And already when I was a president for the state body, we requested the Indian Institute of Science for getting those, and even our one Mr. Hundre, who is from Polyhedron managing director, he had made an identification of around 400 items and given those items for innovation and reverse engineering to IISc. And there is now need of making any clusters. As coming days, now people have become anti-China thinking has been grown very highly, and China is a big leader in the market. Their contribution is 26% of the whole world, and now companies are thinking to come to India. There is one part, but even though we can compete with the China in a different manner, as I know, in last 2 years, when our Mr. Kumaraswamy was the chief minister, he thought on this and made a lot of projects. There is a specifically in budget he had announced compete with China. As I know, Mr. Arun Kumar is with the same company, Acres. They have started one unit in Copper, that is manufacturing of dolls in a mass way with about 500 acres, plug and
Yeah.
play like system they have done. And it is a great thing that we have to now innovate how we'll be more competitive with the quality. And see, now today, earlier the people used to ask quality afterwards, first the quantity. Now today, quality has become a compulsory. Without quality, there is no business. And cost. Without cost, see, today why China has become a leader, not because of only quality. They have become the leaders, even though 95% of their products are copy paste, but they have added some innovations into that, and they have made their country great. Even though there is a lot of opportunity for specifically for IT industry, because see now in the whole world everybody use Google and so many US made or a general website as well as email, whatever the things. Now you look to China, they are not using any common world is using. That's why they are fully secured, and they are become the leaders of the this whole world. And government is giving them the lot of support for exports. That is the second part. And we can make in a small clusters for one item, one cluster. Surely our cost will go reduced by 30, 40, 50% even. And for that, we look forward for a lot of government support and lot of innovation and research as well as the centers for uh, training. That is a skill is much required. As we from our state body, when I was a president, we have proposed one skill center, that is a Kasha Center of Excellence near Tumkuru. That's from Belgaum after Tumkuru it is. That is a Kasha Center of Excellence specifically coming for the people. In-house training can be given there. There is a short-term trainings for 3 months, 6 months like that. Maximum is 6 months. That what we have planned, and the process, the construction work is going on. Maybe another 6 months it will start. So the target, the how fast we can convert to modern technology as well as the new innovation products. Not the earlier products competition is going to happen within our entrepreneurs, which is not required. So innovative ideas, innovative products, innovative things as well as export oriented and import substitutes are the major issues now what we can target. Okay, Rana.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Exactly. Because it has posed a lot of new challenges on all kind of the industries. Now, rightly you told earlier, we used to talk about only the mechanical and automotive components. Now we have to change or shift our focus to the lot of other things. Now I request Arun Kumar sir to focus something about on these challenges for the new industries. Arun Kumar sir. Over to Arun Kumar sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Chavli has already covered most of it. So probably I will just take up some issues which are more relevant to our type of industry. As this challenge is definitely on the working methodology, as I was emphasizing, this is to be a sort of a virtual industry we have to look into. We cannot expect everybody to come to an operational place and feel it and work. Like there are going to be challenges. So virtual industry is going to be the key driving factor for this kind of post-COVID scenario. Here, the two things, like one is simulation that works a lot. So if a mechanical engineer want to be in the simulation industry, it's going to be where the mechanical engineers have more opportunity than any other people in the simulation industry. Because earlier the simulation was limited only for a sort of R&D or making some models. Today, the people have to perform their engineering activities through simulation. So the simulation concept will change. Second is the audiovisual aids, like as Mr. Javadi was mentioning. Today, the helmet manufacturing company turned out to be a PPE company also, provided these two things. But definitely they will think beyond that. The helmet is not only for a safety, helmet will also have a technology. So everything what we are going to use will have audio visual technology, which will minimize the people's, they can be exist and interacted from a faraway places. So simulation and these two things are going to be the keyword, and that will definitely help the coming industries. And I was thinking the challenges in the educational institutes. As he was telling, the people have to be trained for the modern, but just on the lighter note, probably after because most of the participants are students, maybe in their final year of engineering. Just I want to give them a hint, like probably after my graduation, when I started working for a forging industry. First 2 years, I was always feeling, I learned of 8 semesters with a lot of subjects, and a subject in a 4th semester, 2 chapters were forging. So did I waste my time learning all the 8 semesters because I'm making my career in forging industry? And over the period, I felt definitely not, because the mechanical engineering curriculum is so robust that you have to learn all these fundamental subjects, then you have to grow up to the next. So for your innovations, the whatever learning you have done through your present educational system is a basic foundation. Definitely it is not sufficient, but this basic foundation will put you into a right direction for innovation. So educational institutes also will have a challenge, but definitely they will consider this kind of basic education plus advanced education. So this combination should emerge person coming out of an educational institution ready for the industry. So I think these are the two challenges which we can face, and the changes would come in coming days. That's what I feel.
Sir, exactly. The next thing is about you have to be a overall industry, and you have to think about what is going or what is happening instead of focusing on only one set of the requirements of the industries. Now it is a time to revisit or reshape our organized structure, even the organization delivery system. Now we have one more question about. I think this is basically an online adoption to become a digital native. Now I think Bothe sir will more focus on this, because he is a CNC trainer and he is training a lot of people by sitting at the Pune, and he is training a lot of people across the globe, even from Karnataka, Bihar. A lot of people are participating in his lecture. He is taking a lot of online classes. He has written the book and he is explaining each and every part of how that tooling is done, how the specifications is done, with the help of the textbook and with the help of the chalk and board. He is explaining every day around 2 hours. He is teaching the people. Even sometimes I participate in training programs, and this is how he connected to us. Now I request Bothe sir to comment on this. Sir, online adoption to become a digital native and the digital user. Now Bothe sir, over to Bothe sir.
Yeah, this is the best idea. Nobody can come to each place to take training. So online training is the best solution. In home, everybody can take the training at his place, and experts can do the training to everybody. This is the best idea, and this is the best technology to everybody. That basically the student has to learn what he has to learn. That is the important part. And the teachers of the engineering colleges, they must have to guide a proper way, because in the last few years, and as per my knowledge, after passing the engineering, the student, they don't know the what to learn in industry. So basic idea has to be given in the college. That is the important thing. Our syllabus is the best. Okay, that is the basic syllabus is there. But after passing the engineering, either a diploma or degree, when he went to the industry, they don't know what to learn, and how to start learning from which place. And industry have no time to learn, teach them. So industry needs the skilled manpower. So as a challenge, the engineering college has go to industry, because the industry is the customer of the engineering college. So industry engineering college has to go to the industry, and he has to search what he needs, the what the required to customer. That type of the training has to be provided by the engineering college. That is my opinion.
Sir, exactly. Now we have to reshape even the trainings. Earlier, the trainings happens to be the closed room or within the four walls of the classroom. Now the training has taken a wide range, and it is open to the world. Now the trainings are happening in one place, and the people are getting the training and trained in different places. This is how the training facility has become. Even it takes a different level and the strata in the industry of the mechanical engineering industries. Now, thank you, sir, for sharing this. Then we will move to the one more important aspect. Now, it is not only to the mechanical engineers; it is a common anybody's responsibility. Is what is the social responsibility of an common people? Along with that, as an engineer, most of the time our principals sir used to tell, being an engineer, you should think in a differently, not like others. Now especially instead of mechanical engineers, we can talk about the as a fraternity of engineers. Then what is our social responsibility as an engineer? Okay, many times we think only about the technology, automation, science, engineering, like this, but beyond this there is something else. There is a mankind, there is a human touch. All those things we have experienced during this COVID-19 lockdown. Then as an engineer, we are doing our best. At the same time, we have to be more this one as a social responsible engineer. Okay, now I request Jowli sir to comment on this. What is the social responsibility of an engineer? And even now Arun Kumar sir is going to the different colleges, and he is delivering the lectures on with his social CSR activities. He is doing all his efforts in this direction as a being a person working in the highest level in the industry. Even he is helping the organizations by delivering the lectures and by assisting the technology, by giving the feedbacks, by attending the programs, by attending the seminars. He is putting a lot of this one. In the same time, I request Jowli sir to talk about or elaborate on social responsibility of an engineer.
Totally, I do agree. Now, today, if you look to the whole world, why we people become successful in the lockdown is the mainly the most of the people understood the situation, and the very important is our India is having a lot of personal relations. They give a lot of value, and if you look to the overall situation, a lot of people, outsiders, insiders, lockdown, stuck here, stuck there, but not a single person died without food or without shelter. This is a great thing that India has done, one part. And second part, we have successfully lockdown has been in India is of almost 95% people have followed the rules and regulations, what has been made by the government. That is happened only because of the social responsibility, not because of the rules. Even if you generally look in other legal matter, our people are not at all law avoiding people. You may find it everywhere, every corner of the road, you will find our people are not abiding the law. But when it comes to their life, the people will start abiding the system. That is the one thing our people have told ki if you come out of the house, you are going to be killed by this corona. And the people have 90% they have followed one part. And second part, social responsibility of our engineers is if part one is getting trained ourselves and train others. Number one. And number two, the social responsibility of the so many engineering related companies in our India. They are doing lot many social activities. Every company is having a training institute, knowledge sharing, as well as we our lot of industries we allow the students for coming for their vacation training as well as 1 month training, 2 months training. As a honorarily, we are allowing them. And lot of social responsibility. There is lot of things available as you look into the overall our mechanical industry, you can see the Tatas have given a 1400 crores to the government kitty as a Prime Minister PM Care kitty. Like that, Azim Premji and Infosys. See, there are all the social responsibility. Even we can we fight with the government that we are paying so much of tax and you are burdening us. Even though in this situation, we know we can't make any profit for next 1 or 2 years at this situation. But people are ready to contribute minimum 500 rupees, 100 rupees to thousands like that. And this is a great thing that we people are already doing directly or indirectly so many of social responsibility work. And second part, what I wanted to tell is our engineers, we should be more a human being than the engineers, what I feel. And coming to the practical situation, there are lot many engineers. They get a degree, but there is no practical knowledge. That now again we'll have one more discussion after this meeting. Personally, that what best things can be done. And in this whole part of the social responsibility, there are so many parameters we can just look to our area, one area where you live. How many people are living? Whether they are old people, they don't have any parents, relations, and they are old age, they cannot come out of the house. They are unable to go to the shop. Small things we can contribute. And as a social responsibility, even our engineers can now think what next world where we are going. Based on that, some new technology is also there, and whole of the thing, the social responsibility is a common subject for every human being. Is what I want to say. Okay, Virana.
Exactly, sir. But before we engineers, we are human beings. Then later we become the engineers. That is what. And we have seen a lot of you exactly quoted what the Tata company is doing. This is what the that's why we came up quickly even before the third stage and compared to like any other country or part of the world.
Yeah. Correct. Exactly.
Arun Kumar sir to put some more light on this because he is also involved in the big company which is also doing a lot of things in the social responsibility. Sir, Arun Kumar sir, over to you, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. I think yes, social responsibility is for a human being. Nothing to do with any profession or a community, but definitely since this is more of a mechanical engineering platform, the social responsibility of a proud mechanical engineer, I would like to emphasize here. There are a lot of things which can be which the mechanical engineer can make life of a regular human being easy. Because the automated systems available in the market are not suited to the every scenario or every kind of place of geographical place. So they are invented at some place and we try to adopt it. But if a mechanical engineer works out to his area of people who needs a good amount of support to make their working more efficient and safely. So that we have to do innovation, and the institutes like you definitely help them to give an exposure. Probably the final year guys can make the project on a need-based, regional-based requirements, and people from our industry will definitely sponsor, help them to take it to the extent even to start manufacturing in a commercial way to help the society. So I think we will have to interact in this direction. It's an educational institute and an industry combination, and the mindset or innovative idea of a fresh graduate engineer should definitely help us to contribute to the society.
Exactly. Now, basically, we have to think as a human being first. Sir, we are almost reaching to the last part. Now, the last question is to especially it is to the Jowli sir, because he worked in the statutory body of the Karnataka government. Now after this COVID-19 effect, there is a lot of changes going to happen, especially in all the industries. But in mechanical industry, it will going to hit a lot, because in the software industries, the people will sit and do their job in a remote places, and finally the coding is to be taken and it is to be done. But we can't, as a mechanical engineers, we can't produce one part in a one remote place, but it can be done simple parts. But many times when it is an industry of assembly, we require a lot of things for the moment. Okay, in that way the industry requirements are totally different. And our mechanical engineering industry, after seeing 1.5 months, 2 months lockdown, the people are talking about how to go ahead with the next, because the government is also put you have to use 1/3 of the capacity or 50% of the capacity. Now rightly Jowli sir has told, even we can't able to meet the targets within the workforces. This all, by seeing all these things, now I request Jowli sir to tell something about what is the statutory and the government support to start with the new industry, because our engineering students are coming out after 1 month, they are graduating, and many of our alumni are also here if they want to become an entrepreneur. Please put a focus or light on what are the statutory and government support for the new beginners, especially in the mechanical engineers, sir.
Practically speaking, there are a lot many schemes have been introduced in last 2-3 years, and
Yes, sir.
we used to see there is a lot of government schemes through KSFC. They used to give a
Yes,
finance. Initially, only it has been given to the SC/ST community up to 10 crores with the security, and
yes, sir.
now we fighted and with the government and made at least woman entrepreneur will get some benefit. General public with in the name of woman entrepreneur, and it has
Yes,
been made 2 crores, up to 2 crores at the rate of 4% interest. And now,
yes,
even last year they bought, last government has bought, that's made in general category also, they will get up to 5 crores in 4% interest, which will be most helpful for the new entrepreneurs to start any new industry. And plus
yes,
that, there are a lot many schemes have been bought, but due to some financial stringent, I don't know. After coming this BJP government, they are stuck. Neither they are telling it is closed, neither they are giving the support. Now, from the
yeah,
state body as well as we had a lot of discussion, they are telling this is a in force. Will put some kitty funds and bring it back. And now, instead of thinking of government support, there are a lot many industrial where there is a very less investment and uh, specific products where there is innovation. There is a lot of scope is available. Where now, like Arun Kumar has told, we being mechanical engineering students, we can make a lot of innovations where the easy things can be done. As he told, ki now sanitization is the very important part. When this COVID has started, one of our mechanical engineering unit has bought some chamber. That's through that chamber, if you pass, you will be disinfected like that.
yes,
Even there is a small person by leg you are putting press, and the liquid you are getting in the hand, and even water also you can by pressing from the leg you will get the water tap is started like that. There are so many innovations even by you are, like that sensor, lot of sensors you can fit into that. And there is lot many innovation things what we are having. We have to go through, and government is positively thinking of supporting the MSME as well as mechanical engineer, because see, one mechanical industry starts, they will give minimum job to 50 to 100 persons. Okay, and today our Indian population is very high, and qualified engineers, unemployed engineers as well as qualified engineers are very high in the volume. So government is thinking how to get the people employed is very, very important. So now starting entrepreneurship is a quite difficult job, but I do support a entrepreneur who can start now. Just last year, my son has completed mechanical engineering, and he started his own enterprise. That is one bike rental company he started about 2 years back, which is now the same theme has come with, you may be knowing, this yellow color scooter, every corner they are standing. Now he had very limited scooters of around 50 to 100, but he is doing a good business, that traveling. Now because of the public traveling has been totally stopped. So automatically the private carrier or a private scooters, automatically demand has come. And now he has come with one mechanical thing. This, for example, I am telling. He had come up with one a AMC based maintenance of any make two-wheeler. So once the people become a member, even there is a drop facility and bringing back the vehicle and keeping the data of whole vehicle he has started. So there is a large number. There is about 28, 25 lakh two-wheelers in Belgaum. And now people want any facility. The money is not any important thing. The only thing is now mentally people has to be prepared, that now being in a home for last 40 days, everybody is thinking now what is in life. The only 2 time meal and one sleep is sufficient. Okay. And this is a very different thing, that the business will grow only because of the dreams. Okay. The people come for engineering for being an engineer and make some good business, start a business, or being an engineer, you work in some good company, you'll get better facilities. Like that, dreams will run the future. So now I say every college and every student should have a dream, and make your dream successful. You have to work hard. So now let us pray for the good thing for coming days, and let us pray for this COVID go earlier, and some vaccine come to our country as well as the whole world. And being we are not impacted by the health. Much people are not affected. So after this lockdown, we will come out within short time back to our original stage, what I feel, and we may bounce back to the whole world as a center of manufacturing industry, as in the whole globe. India will become number one manufacturer, what I feel. This is my vision and thinking. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, just to share some slides here about just now what I told about what are the initiatives we have taken in our institute. Just I will share some of the photographs here, sir. You can see the slides. We have done this face masks and the this oxygen ventilators. Just I will play one video also here. Okay. Yes, it is not playing. Just a minute. And these are the face shields. You can see these. And this is the water automatic water. These are the initiatives done by the ACUS company. Yesterday, Arun Kumar sir has shared these photographs and the videos. And this is how the hand press, the foot press, the sanitizer. Okay, this is what we are seeing here. Yes, sir. These are the few things. Even in our SGBIT, we have a Aviskar lab where we did these face mask shields. Our one of the professor from the mechanical engineer, Professor Mutanna Banda, he took the initiatives and he created all these things, sir. And
Very nice.
this
Very
is
nice.
this is the profile of the today's speakers. Sir, now we are almost end of the session now. If anybody have the questions, you please put in a chat, or otherwise you can open a mic, and only 3 members I can give the chance, because already we are running short of time. I will give 3 minutes to time to ask the question. Only 3 members can ask. Please, anybody, you please unmute. Only the people who want to ask the question, please unmute and ask the question. Yeah, please. If anybody has the question, you please unmute, because I am not seeing any questions in the chat box. If you have any questions, yeah, directly you can ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. This is Amit Upadhyay. I just passed out in 2019
Yes.
last year. So,
Yeah.
actually, my basic plan will be, I want to become an entrepreneur, and I worked on to create my own plastic recycling and waste management plant. And I have almost all the plans and every document which are very supporting to put my own, industrial plant. So, what is your opinion? Like, is this a right time to? Uh, is this a very right time to open my industry, or shall I wait for sometimes because of this COVID-19 and all? So, can I get any financial support from the government side?
Yeah, surely. Surely you are going to get the support. There is not any issue. But the thing is, what exactly you are told, that it's a plastic recycling, what you wanted to do. Which type of plastic you are going to do it? Because now plastic is got banned from all India as well as in Karnataka. There is no plastic water bottle they are going to use. Neither this hand bags they are going to use. So only big plastics can be used. There is no small day-to-day use plastics are getting avoided. So what is your plan, and that you have to rework on that practically. And
Sir,
waste management. Yeah, tell me.
yes, sir. Actually, I planned for this. There are three qualities like PT, PET, and HDPET. There are three different kinds of plastics, and I worked on those things. And I wanted to recycle the
Good,
HDPET
good.
quality, which are used for home appliances materials and car dashboards.
Nice,
Almost all
nice,
in the
nice.
vehicles, almost all the automobile parts are manufactured by the HDPET plastic, and this is the and we will get more resource on HDPET, and that is a more worthier thing. So it will be recycled so as soon as much as we can, because uh, everybody will uh, everybody
Yeah,
will use home appliances, everybody will buy new vehicles, and this is HDPET material quality of the plastic will be the more having a more usage in the world. And the entire world, around 60 million tons of plastics is produced every year, and only 20% of that will be used regularly, and remaining 80% will be left with as a plastic waste, and it is not recycled, or it is not used in the that particular manner. And for almost all, around 22%, which are the diseases will spread in the among the human beings. So 22% of the diseases will make plastics as the medium to spread over the human beings. So this is what I thought, and I thought of recycling that
good,
HDPET
good,
quality particularly.
good. Now
Yes.
what you exactly you told, there is a lot of opportunity. If you have decided today to start, it will take 6 months to 1 year when
Yes,
you
sir.
start work practically. Nothing wrong, but take another 1 or 2 months time. And if you have got your own capital, yeah, it's very nice to be start with that small, and then go
Uh-huh.
for government schemes. What is your total project cost is very important.
Yes, sir.
Uh, you can have my number, and you can send me the WhatsApp.
Yes, sir.
We can
Please,
discuss it personally also.
okay, sir.
Okay.
Can you please share your contact number
Amit,
so that I will
Amit,
contact?
Amit,
Sir,
Amit, I am
I
having
will
his
in
number.
chat box I will.
Amit,
Okay.
Amit,
Okay.
I will
Okay.
share his
Sir will
number.
give it.
Amit,
Yes, sir.
thank you,
Okay.
Amit,
Yes,
for
sir.
coming here.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I'm Muttana here. I want to add something to the what Basuraj sir, Jawli sir has told in this regarding the Amit's plan. Amit, I'm Muttana and I'm leading this entrepreneur development cell at SGBIT. And you know
Yes, sir.
that we have granted with Host Institute under the MSME, medium, small, and micro
Yeah.
scale industries,
Enterprise.
this
Yes,
enterprises. And
yes,
if you send a proposal like how
Nice.
it is working and if it is beneficial for the society as well as whatever the budget cost you are having, and if
yes, sir.
this approval is approved by the MSME, the company under your name will be granted with whatever the grant that is given by the MSME government of India.
India.
So
Yes, sir.
you can approach me in this case also, and I think yeah, this time we are rigorously working on that one, and already we have submitted 3 ideas from SGBIT to MSME, and they are in
Okay, sir.
process. If your process, if your idea is feasible, definitely we will support in that case. And you can have a business incubation at SGBIT also.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Thank you, Professor. Amit, you can approach the college. You please come back and after this lockdown, you please visit our department
Yes,
as well as
sir.
our EDP center.
Yes, sir.
You please come back.
Yes, sir.
If
Definitely, I
any,
will visit and thanks for
yeah,
your support, sir.
yes, thank you. Is there anybody to ask the question? Last one question. Yeah, if no questions are there, then sir, it is very interesting and you have given a lot of input. Now we're moving to the last stage of the program. Now I request our principal sir to give the presidential remarks. Now, principal sir, you please give the presidential remarks about these programs.
Okay, good afternoon, one and all. Now, before going to say a few words, so our Honorable Governing Council member, Engineer Vilas Badami sir is there, what I saw. So, welcome you, sir, for this this one. So, if you
Very nice.
wish to add something, you can speak for 2-3 minutes, sir.
No, sir. Carry on, sir. Carry on.
Yeah, you are also an industrialist. You are also an industrialist.
Sir, welcome, sir. Badam sir, welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Very nice, Badami.
Yes, sir.
Badami sir, ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಒಂದು ಎರಡು ನಿಮಿಷ?
Illa, sir. Whatever the Arun sir and Javli sir and another person from Pune, they have given a very good suggestions. It is nothing but after COVID, it will be a smart thing. After COVID has taught us the lesson. The people working culture will change and living culture also will change. What I feel. This is only I want to add. Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, I am very much thankful to Basuraj Javli sir, Arun Kumar sir, and Bothe sir for their valuable time and the suggestions and the thoughts shared with us. So actually the COVID-19, so this is all. If you look into this one, so we being the teachers, we never thought that one to just teach on online. We were just, acquainted with the physical classrooms and we were saying it all the things. So now because of this COVID-19, we thought that one, so we are supposed to be do even on online. So even though it is a first time experience, our faculty members are doing a very wonderful job. And also our students, even at the remote place in the villages and all, so they are trying their best to understand on online. So therefore, the e-education will be taking a momentum in future. Absolutely, there is no doubt, because the physically and this one will going to go away from that one. So this is what I am feeling as an educationist, thinking that one e-education we wanted to make it more compulsion. So this is in at SCBIT, and also the management is saying that one we have to be think totally different. So this is how the webinars have been started now. The panel discussion has been started. So yesterday the civil department has conducted one webinar on the pre-stressed concrete design. So the person was from Bangalore, and he has even there. So I think from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, many of the people have joined. Here also from Pune, so many other people and our alumni people are joining. So this is definitely will going to be a more effective than the physical. This one, of course, some practical things, hands-on training and also only for that we are supposed to be called. So this is how the education may going to change in future. Especially it has been, it might have already started at the primary level, but it will going to change even at the professional colleges, especially in the engineering. So this effect of COVID-19, of course, all have shared with respect to the mechanical engineering and with respect to the some other things and all. So this is what they have told. The other day I was attending the AI and ML course. So they were saying that one. So this AI ML we are talking at college level, at engineering college. In China, they have given in the first standard. So where we are then? First standard, the students are exposing to the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So now we are talking with respect to the engineering colleges. So that is how the Basavaraj Javadi sir has told in the entire globe, 26% stake is there. So because a lot of changes have been done. So across, so it may be true with the Germany, Japan, and all that Europe countries. But definitely we being an engineers, because as we all know that, so the Indians' minds are really wonderful. So absolutely no doubt, and they are very intelligent. But the situation has to come. The pressure has to be there on them. So I think this COVID-19 has given a lot of pressure, and we are supposed to be rebuild our economy and so many things. The other day, Narayan Murthy sir has told that one for the next 2 to 3 years. So there is no question of 8 hours band. So it should be minimum of 10 to 12 hours should be the working hours. So to bring back the economy, there is no question of looking at the watch and do the work. So for 8 hours or so. So therefore, these things may change. So even this latest technologies, whatever they are, we are talking. So in the 17th century or 18th century, if you consider, the industrial revolution has started. After that, when the electricity has come, then it has come to this computer during the last century. Now it will be AI and ML. Only artificial intelligence will going to. So we might have seen that one. So whatever this artificial intelligence will going to make a change. So that effect is there on everything. On everything. You take any business for that matter. You take any business for that matter. AI is having its own impact. So that is how what we are speaking now. So it is through that one. So because of the technology. Otherwise, we have to be move everyone from there and there. How much is the cost? What is the distance? What is the time factor? Where to meet and do the meetings? So this is all possible because of this all AI and ML. So therefore, in each and every engineering college, so they should think and already started. So therefore, with regards to this, sir, for your information, day before yesterday only I conducted one meeting, so that I have formed disciplinary club. Interdisciplinary club. So that I invited Professor Anigeri from VTU, Professor Guru Prasad from BMS College, one Mr. R.N. Kulkarni from Wipro, so one more from the NDT Data, Basavaraj Hugar. So then IIT Mumbai, Gopal Patil, and IIT Roorkee, the Kishore Kulkarni. So this is how I conducted a meeting like this. They have given a lot of input. So from this 2021, so we will going to start an interdisciplinary courses at SCBIT with a proper thought. So this we need the support from you, like industrialists and the people, those who are working in the multinational companies. So your inputs will definitely makes us more meaningful, because as you people have rightly told, in engineering college only theoretical background people will be coming, and no this one because of this one. So the Wipro, Infosys, TCS. Recently, I was talking to my friend in Wipro, who is in a talent search head. So he was saying that one, how to reduce the cost of 12 to 15% of their right now budget. How to reduce the cost. So that is their main agenda. So therefore, they were saying that one. So they wanted to be trained the students at the engineering colleges only. So then accordingly they can opt it. So therefore, so there will be lot of changes will going to take place, and autonomy will come into the colleges, and the scenario will going to change. So even the distance education we were hating earlier. So now the distance education will taking a momentum. So we are supposed to be adopted because of this one. So we were ourselves were saying distance education ದಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವರದು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿ? So we are saying that one. So you should do the distance education. And there is an attribute in our NPA also with the Washington Accord. So that lifelong learning is inevitable. Lifelong learning is one of the attributes. Lifelong learning now and then. So it is not for the sake of the knowledge. It is for the the existence. This is how they are taking. So because we were supposed to be in the role. So therefore the lifelong learning is a must. So therefore, my dear friends, it was a very nice discussion. So all the speakers were having a rich experience in their own field and shared their valuable knowledge with us. So definitely we need your support, sir. To the SCBIT is always looking forward to look after the new things to be incorporated, so that our Aviskar Lab has been already inaugurated during the last September 15th. Most of the things will going to be added to that, and I already spoken to the management also. They have agreed that to set up one studio at college, SCBIT studio. So definitely this hybrid teaching learning will be the day of the order at SCBIT in future. So your cooperation, your directions definitely will going to help, sir. So it should not stop at one webinar like this. So it should be a continuous on different topics. So it may be once in fortnight at least, what I am expecting. So like that, the Professor Veerana, you can give a thought for this and make it a continuous. Even after lockdown period is over, and if the students comes, it should be a continuous, continuously it should be run. This is what my expectation is. So with this note, I think I shared my views, and it was nice sessions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and sharing this session. Sir, now we have reached the end of the session now. I thank on behalf of my department and personal behalf, I thank the chairman, sir, the management, Swamiji, and all the people who have helped this organizing this program. And I extend my thanks to the Vilas Badami, sir, a governing council member. When I yesterday sent a invitation, he also came, and he possibly he said he will join. And thank you, sir. Thanks for making it. I extend my thanks to today's. Yes, sir. Thanks. I extend my thanks to the today's resource persons, Mr. Basaraj Javli. In spite of his busy schedule, even he replied at night when I requested him in the afternoon. Even he said he wasn't busy with some meetings, but he replied and he made it possible. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving the inputs for this program. And sir, we expect your continuous support henceforth also.
Sure.
And yes, sir, thank you, sir. Sir, I extend my thanks to the Arun Kumar sir. In spite of his busy schedule, he is ready to share. Even he came to our college during the Saturdays, but because of he expressed if the program is on Sunday, then he is ready to come. Otherwise, he is busy in all the time because even though in the lockdown, because of SEZ, they are permitted to work. Even then he joined he made it possible. Sir, thank you, sir, Arun Kumar sir, for sharing your thoughts as well as your whatever the initiatives are taken place in the ACAS. Thank you, sir.
It's my pleasure. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I extend my thanks to the engineer Lal Saheb Bote. He is a CNC trainer, and when he sent one message, there is a CNC training program on Zoom app. Then I just simply replied what is going on there, and he shared his textbook also. And I asked his resume, what he is doing and what is. And by seeing his total experience and this one, I thought yes, he is the right person to, and he is agreed, readily agreed. Once the lockdown is over, then he is ready to come to our college and to tell our people about the avenues in the CNC. Especially, he has rich experience, around 25 years of rich experience. Sir, thank you, sir, for making all these
Thank you
things.
very much. Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir. Then I extend my thanks all to the alumni